Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurumedeva Sarvakarishu Sarvada. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Reva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Aim Reem Klim Chamundaye Viche Namo Namaha. Shri Hanumate Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 11th of August 2025. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Paramatma residing in the heart of every single being. We have been continuing by the grace of Bhagavan Krishna and all the great sages and of course Sri Radhika ji on the exposition of Prema Bhakti. Prem is the biggest medicine in life. There is none other. That is the greatest power, that is the greatest potentiality within us. Prema Shakti. The energy of love is intense. And this is where the application in day-to-day life comes into practice, into its application. To apply Prema Bhakti in the hour-to-hour movement of our life is the way it actually is applied. That an hour at a time, a minute at a time, day at a time, like this. As time is going on, the main sadhana is, if you want to call it sadhana, is really just to interact with all circumstances through love, through prema, which also means compassion, which also means karuna, which means shanti. All of this is combined together. So our day-to-day interaction with others, doesn't matter who it is, bring in the vision of prema. That is the love for God. So Bhagavan ka prem, that means that we are seeing all people, beings, everybody that we come in contact with, we're seeing them through love, or love is seeing through us. The Prema Shakti, that is the Haladini Shakti, the Bliss Shakti, that is seeing through us and interacting with others. Then how can there be any conflict with anybody? There not be any conflict with anybody. Because we are creating conflict with others sometimes, or within ourselves. And so the ending of all conflict sounds very nice. Is it possible? Yes. The ending of all conflict is possible when we tap into Prema Shakti. Tap into that loving energy. Is tapping into. And this is why, like today, why we spend 45 minutes doing all these bhajans and mantras and everything. What's the purpose? Because that is an attempt to change our mental frequency, our emotional frequency, to tap into that love energy. It's not a simple thing. It's a very big thing in life. This is why our mind is just a chaos. The antakarana is nothing but chaos. Man, buddhi, chit, ahankar. That is called antakarana. It is the inner instrument. It has a function. It has purpose. That is our mental mechanism. But we want to purify, stabilize, and utilize in the best possible way with people, places, situations, circumstances, objects, everything on the outside. It is the relationship with that which is outside and the relationship with that which is inside. You see, so to establish a relationship of love and respect and non-conflict, to establish that actually in life is what we are aiming to do. That is how the Prema Bhakti opens even further. We cannot actually enter into the domain of Prema Bhakti or Prem-Lakshana Bhakti, which itself is, Krupa of Radhika ji. That domain cannot be entered into until we have removed or we have gone beyond the dislike, the raga and the dvesha, the pulling and repulsion, attraction, repulsion that is constantly going on, that has to settle down. That must settle down. If it doesn't settle down, the prema bhakti cannot open. How can it open? Our mind is constantly being torn apart. No, we don't want to do that. And the mind is very fast. It has lot of shakti, lot of power. So when it begins the process of sadhana to reach God, Dheyo Narayano Harihi, then all of this comes into the picture. It's very practical. This is not something that is just a lot of theories or anything like that. It's not like that. It's a day-to-day experiential path. We have family, we have friends, we have people, we're interacting with so many different things going on in life all the time. But to interact without conflict, without any kind of internal disturbance is the goal. So set that goal. What is our sadhana for today? There's a sadhana to be done every day. Some vision we need to maintain. And that is that every single day that we get up, like today, I will not be in conflict with myself or with anybody else. Do baatein. Make a decision. Do it right now. We did all the prarthana this morning. Mondays we do more Shiv Bhakti. So it's fine. Bhagwan to ek hi hai. God is only one. Right? We're beautiful. So we pray to Bhagwan Shankar to give us his wisdom, to give us his jnana, to give us his stability. You see, so by doing this, we make a decision. Because the buddhi that we have, this brain, there's a brain inside here, hopefully. That brain is going to make a decision-making capacity. We have to make a decision. And when we make a decision to say that Sachin is going to say to her, I am not going to be in conflict with myself. And I'm not going to be in conflict with anybody else. Do this today. Right now, here in USA, Eastern Standard Time, it's 8:26 a.m. 11th of August 2024. That's the present moment. So from this moment until we go to sleep at night, make a firm decision by taking a mala, standing or sitting in front of Bhagwan Krishna, Bhagwan Shankar, jo Ishta Devata hai, and make a decision. Touch the feet of the Lord. Bhagwan ke jo charan hai, usko sparsh karna with the right hand. Offer a flower if you want. And make a promise. Have a conversation. That I'm promising you, and you bless me, that not to have any conflict with myself internally or with anybody else. Ye bahut badi baat ho gayi. This is something amazing to reach that stage. But we can do it. How? Just one day at a time, 1 hour at a time. But it begins by making a sankalpa, making a promise, having a prayer. Do we want that? It's a question of wanting. What do I want? Do I want to be in a loving vision with all, not with a few people only? See, our raga dvesha is like the raga attraction, repulsion. These people are very good. But these are 5 other people. No, they're not so good. Ye sab chhod do. Let this die, literally. It has to be dead, this thing. Somebody's good, somebody's bad, somebody's mine, somebody's not mine. Ye sab kachra hai. This, we cannot realize that Brahman, that Parabrahman ever with this kind of vritti. And Sachin is telling himself, not telling anybody else. We have to see ourselves this thing. It's very easy to point fingers at others. It's very easy for me, someone like me, to say, okay, I'm giving this exposition that other people should understand. Whether they understand or not, Bhagwan, that is in the hands of God and them. I have to understand this. And it is a mistake to think I have understood it 100% or even I'm practicing it 100%. Look at, genuinely inside, in bhakti. That is, see, one of the big benefits of the Navda Bhakti is that it gives us a vision of what crazy stuff is going on inside our mind. And we can de-identify with it. No, this is not real. That is Viveka. That's what Shankaracharya ji taught. Satya, Asatya, Sat, Asat, Vivek. Asatya kya hai? That confusion inside, the pulling and tugging with the Panch Vishayas. इसका कोई स्थान ही नहीं है जीवन में. इसमें क्या मिलेगा? So when we realize this, and it's not easy in the beginning stages because we are pulled all the time. Somebody says one word to us. Not even, they don't have to even say something. They make a little bit of a nasty face or some kind of a, there were sometimes some past conflict happened years back, and now you see that person says, oh, let me stay away from that person. This, that, so many things. Sab chalta hai. But that's not good, that is a problem. Have a respectful interaction. Yeah, decide how much to talk, what to talk, but without entanglement. This is the biggest obstacle in bhakti. If we actually want bhakti, if the person doesn't want bhakti, they want rag, dvesh, kaam, krodh, lobh, ye sab chahiye, that's people are drowning in that and dying with that only, and killing each other because of that, hurting each other. Shadripu, the inner enemies, external problems happen. Right? We understand this. This has to be let go. There's no choice in this matter. Sachin cannot say that I'm going to maintain anger and calm and lobh and krodh and this and that and dislike for others, and also I'm going to worship, Bhagwan Krishna, Bhagwan Narayan. How is this possible? ये कैसे हो सकता है? It's not possible. It's never possible. And once that obstruction comes inside, then that damages bhakti. Bhakti, to obtain bhakti, to open up that dimension, it's extremely, extremely, extremely rare. Durlabham. It doesn't happen in life. Even we get a glimpse of bhakti, it is something extraordinary. But when it begins to glimpse and open, and then the bhakta prays to Radhika ji that you please bless me with more bhakti. You please keep your attention on me. Please keep your krupa on me. The bhakta has that prayer, and then as the qualification develops, and what is the prerequisite? Letting go of the shadripu, all the deficiencies. Anger, krodh, lobh, greed, all this thing doesn't have any place. Letting it subside. Samatva, samdrishti. Somebody says praise, somebody gives blame, somebody this happens, that happens. Samatva. See the whole picture internally. The internal freedom means letting go of internal conflict. ये अनुभव की बात है. शंकराचार्य जी कहते हैं कि अपरोक्ष अनुभूति. He's written about that. Aparoksh means this is not something from the past or something that is not with us. It is right here. Anubhuti means realization that internally all of this deficiency, I can detect it, and it has nothing to do with me, and I am not going to create conflict inside of me. This goes back to our angel wing programs of the TEMDE, thought, emotion, memory, desire, energy. That is another way to describe the antakarana, man, buddha, chit, ahankar. In the Vedanta they say man, buddhi, chit, ahankar, but remember, embedded in that is Shakti. So I don't want to disturb this. This is the internal power, internal wealth. And that real wealth is bhakti. Our Shakti transmutes into bhakti. Yehi जीवन का लक्ष्य है. There's no other goal in life than this. Other goals are all subservient to this main goal. That all of our energies, Gnan Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, all energies of the body, mind, senses, everything, it takes the swarupa of bhakti. It takes that extraordinary, it changes into pure undisturbed bhakti. There's nothing greater than that. इससे आगे तो कोई कुछ है ही नहीं. And this is, if we want this, then there is prerequisite. We have to clean up our life. if it is not completely clean. Clean up life meaning what? Antakarana Shuddhi. Antakarana Sthirta, Mansik Sthirta, Mansik Shuddhi. ये करनी चाहिए, and this requires reflection, introspection. This is why the 9 forms of devotion, they increase introspection. We can see it and de-identify with it. And then from that opening into the Bhagavad Dham eventually will happen, where God's blessings come. Every creature around us, every being around us begins to resonate with that bhakti. Yes. बड़े बड़े संतों की ऐसी स्थिति, ऋषियों की स्थिति ऐसी थी. They were of this type, and they are even today there. They're sitting in just one place, but they have so much love and affection and care flowing all around. That is the sthiti. We can open that dimension, yes. And how do you know this? This is happening. All the conflicts end. They end completely. And once they end, there is the interaction without entanglement, without getting stuck with anybody. ये बहुत बड़ी बात है जीवन में. कैसे हो सकता है? How is this possible? We get stuck so easily. No, we want to be stuck or bound only to the feet of Paramatma and nobody else. That doesn't mean we're disliking anybody. We're seeing God in all. But we don't want to be bound to anybody. ये बहुत इस पर ध्यान रखना. बंधन कहाँ रखना है? Bhakti is a bandhan actually, but it's a binding with Bhagwan. And what about all the other relationships? They are without conflict. They are interacting with Sarva Bhuta Hite Rata, wishing well for all, interacting with all as needed, with love, affection, without any personal egotistical entanglement. These are the prerequisites for Prema Bhakti. Prema Bhakti can open in life, but to evolve out of divisiveness. We talked about this in the online forum we just had on Saturday or on Sunday. So that Prema Bhakti is so amazing, so beautiful, that our life becomes beautiful. Every minute is spent in the best possible way. Of course, we have to do our duties. You cannot sit with a mala and say, I'm not going to do anything else. No, aisa nahi hai. We have to perform all action. But that action is just offered to Paramatma, and there is a greater wisdom about how to resolve the internal conflict. Spend a few minutes on this, then we'll stop. The internal conflict is a very big thing. This is a serious problem in all of humanity. Now, first of all, what is internal conflict? That one thought against another thought, one memory against another memory. It's all confabulation. It's hitting against itself. I'll give you a very simple example. I won't go too much into it. It's a very big, complex subject in psychology. But let's say Sachin here is watching some series on Netflix. We all like to watch Netflix or Hulu or whatever it is, Tubi or whatever these different channels are there, right? Just assume for a moment we're watching some series. Doesn't matter. Maybe it's PG rated. Okay, let's just say it's PG rated. That story, one episode after another, the people, the characters, everything is going to be recorded inside. Now we have a big question here. Does that recording inside affect our bhakti? Think about this. It's very interesting. When we have guests over, right? Let's say you have 4 people staying in the home family, but you have some guests coming. If they stay for 1 or 2 days, it's not a big issue. But then somehow, something changes, they stay for longer time. They're there for 8 days, 9 days, 10 days, 20 days, 30 days, 1 month, 2 months. It becomes an interference. You see, it can become an interference. Like, why this person? Now they should go do what they have to do. Isn't it like this? So it's very interesting. I'm using this as an analogy. When we put material inside our antakarana, like the Netflix show, the Hulu show, some series we're watching, when we put that inside, how does that impact the quality of our mind? Do you see this question? It's a very interesting question. When we are inputting material through the senses, through the five senses, we hear conversations, we hear stories, whatever, through hearing, smelling, seeing, touching, tasting, everything. When we input stimuli into the antakarana, here's the question for all of you and for me. How does that impact the connection with Bhagavan? Kitna interesting question hai. Okay, now expand this further. We have a conversation with a friend, with a family member, with somebody for 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes. We have some conversation, and then you know what happens, right? We have the conversation, and depending on the quality of the conversation, our antakarana, our mental framework is somehow, could be disturbed. Doesn't have to be, but it could be. Unless it's a very good quality conversation, then we say, I had such a good time with my friend over coffee. But then some other conversations, there's troubling situation, this problem, that problem, or somebody's talking about somebody else. Whatever it is, the specifics don't matter here. Antakarana asthir ban jata hai. ये देखने जैसी बात है. We have to see this thing. क्या अंतःकरण मेरा कैसा है? कितनी स्थिरता है अंतःकरण में? How much steadiness is inside my antakarana? And if it is not there, sit in front of Bhagwan Krishna, Bhagwan Shankar, Devi. उनके आगे बैठना, गणेश जी के आगे बैठ, sit in front of them, any ishta devata, and प्रार्थना कीजिए. Ask and you shall receive. Jesus said it also. बहुत बड़ी बात है प्रार्थना. Ask. Do we ask this thing? How many people actually ask? I wonder, in the world generally, when they're praying, कि हे प्रभु, मेरा मन शुद्ध बनाना, मेरा मन स्थिर बनाना. The prayers are there, but in one ear, out the other. ऐसा होता है generally. Bring the prayers inside. Do you know something in the Sikh tradition, the Gurudwara that are there? They sing the Shabad. They're called Shabad. These are the poems written by the 10 gurus in the Sikh tradition, but they're all attributed to Guru Nanak Dev. Itne amazing hai. If you go through the lines in this, what is written there. And the sadhana in the Gurudwara is just to absorb the Shabad. Because Shabad meaning Shabda, like Shabda Brahma, divine language that is coming from the Akal Purukh. Akal Purush means Paramatma. That's the Sikh, that's the language that is used there. But the sadhana that is done there is really very interesting to understand. That is that the people sitting there, they are worshipping that Paramatma through those Shabad. And they're asking by Guru Krupa, see Guru Dwar they're called. The Sikh temples are called Guru Dwar. You know why that is? Because those teachings are a doorway into that infinite consciousness. Ek adbhut baat hai. It has to absorb inside. And the worship is of Paramatma. I don't want to go too much into that right now, but the point simply being made, what is to be placed inside the antakaran? Hamara jo antakaran hai, isme what material are we placing there? It's a very interesting question. And is material coming inside the antakarana stimuli that is deflecting the antakarana, making it impure, making it imbalanced, making it conflicted internally? And then now here's the other problem psychologically, that the material that comes inside, you cannot remove that. There's a whole series of explanation on this in Vachanamrut, Garuda Pratham 18, Adharmo Vachanamrut. But the essence is what Sachin is trying to present here. That the internal conflict is with the material, the content that is stored inside the memories. Thought, emotion, memory. Memories is called chitta. In Sanskrit, in the Vedanta, it's called chitta, Chitta, not Sat Chit Anand. That is consciousness. Chitta is stored inside. Like, I'll give a simple example. I have memories of my father and my mother and my brother, just three people, the immediate family, as an example. But those memories are not me. Understand this point clearly. Those memories of the three people, they are actually inside, in a subtle sukshma form inside. They are outside. One person is no longer present in the planet, the father, but so he was out, but still internally that exists. Okay, what do you do with that? What do you do with it is to have a new vision of it. There is an identification with it of the me, that this is mine. This is my mother, my father, my brother, my this. This is called mamatva and ahanka aham mamatva. This deep identification. Change that into prema. That when I see my mother, I can say language-wise, this is my mother. But change the vision. So, no, see the goddess. Is it possible? कितना फर्क है इसमें. जो जैसे हम देवी का दर्शन करते हैं इन द मंदिर में लक्ष्मी जी का, माता जी, कोई भी स्वरूप है देवी का, we say this is goddess Devi, right? So when we see our mother, what Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Matru Rupena Samsita Namastasya, that bhav should come inside. First bring that bhav before having any conversation. Do namaskar like this. Then have the conversation. This is called non-entangled action that is infused with the presence of Paramatma in each action. If we learn how to do this, if we start doing this in every situation, it doesn't mean you have to start speaking shlokas with everybody. Say Om Shri Matre Namah. Say one word of the Lord in any which way. See that Paramatma first in that person with a humbleness, and then have the normal conversation, just like we usually do. You will see that the inner space is free. Antakarana Shuddha hai. We will not speak language that is hurtful. Even if the person is distressed, something is going on, we will be compassionate, but we will remain by the grace. This is by Krupa se hota hai. Bhagavad Krupa. Unki daya se hota hai. We remain free. Otherwise, a human being cannot remain free like that. It is by the grace of God that the freedom is obtained. No human being is free otherwise. You see, so this is how we can practice bhakti. And it's so simple. There's nothing hard about this. But it requires that bhav. That my destination is Paramatma. Those people living inside my mind, if I'm just entangled with them through raga, dvesha, what a mess. It's a chaos inside. About 100 people or so, 80 to 100 to maybe 200 people are like stored inside our mind. And we're just rolling around with it. And all the other memories and all the other stimuli. But the memory structure, that's not me. That is present there. That's just one final point. The memories that are there, they are there. Leave them alone. And when we are, now here's the amazing part. When we are asking Paramatma to come inside, man mandir ban jata hai. Ah, ऐसी तो, there is nothing beyond that. हमारा अंतकरण, जो निज अंतकरण, this individualized अंतकरण, it resonates with, it's brimming with devotion. भगवान का मंदिर बन जाता है अंतकरण. This is the real मंदिर. इसको मंदिर कहते हैं, इसको आनंद कहते हैं. This is सच्चिद आनंद. ये भगवान का जो विग्रह है, सच्चिदानंद रूपाय कृष्णम वंदे जगत गुरुम. भगवान इस सच्चिद आनंद, और हमारा जो आत्मा तत्व है वो भी सच्चिद आनंद है. And we're getting lost and entangled inside the names and forms through Maya, by the Maya Shakti. Even the Maya Shakti is divya, but it gets, वो समर्पित हो जाती है. दैवी एषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्या माम एवये प्रपद्यन्ते माया मेताम तरन्ति. How do we cross Maya? By going completely at the feet of Prabhu. परमात्मा, भगवान कृष्ण गारंटी देते द माया विल नॉट अफेक्ट यू. वो दैवी है, वो दिव्य माया है, बट यू विल क्रॉस इट. एंड दिस इज कॉल्ड Prema Bhakti. That opens the doorway then into all the things we've been talking about. These are the basic ideas, basic concepts. Let's stop here for now. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvighram Kuru Me Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundaya Viche Om Glom Hum Klim Jum Saha Jwalaya Jwalaya Jwala Jwala Prajwala Prajwala Aim Rim Klim Chamundaya Viche Jwala Ham Sam Lam Ksham Phat Swaha Durge Durge Rakshini Tha Swaha Om Shrim Rim Shrim Kamale Kamalale Prasida Om Shrim Rim Shrim Shri Mahalakshmi Namah Om Shrim Swaha Om Trambakam Jame Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukmiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya. Shri Hanumanji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Arpanamastu. Rim Swaha.